Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. We got some new people in the space. So that is kind of symbolic of where we're headed. um, we are headed into the fellowship. We're heading into a new wave of energy, a new wave of life. So what you now are like a new person and might have just started like coming on Wednesdays, that you might like start this or last Wednesday and the next Wednesday or the next after that. You are kind of part of this new wave, which kind of the ones that have kind of been here for a while are going a little deeper into the wave this weekend. Whether it's online, whether you're physically present at Hövik or in Chicago, like Caitlin and me, or Carolina, or you are participating from other places around. So there's a new wave coming, and that is what we're talking about today, the wave of life. So let's just double check to hear if people actually can hear me, since it's nice to get some responses. And it's kind of quiet. It's kind of quiet. So it's kind of quiet yet. So if you are seeing this and you can text, then you can text. So this is kind of a new beginning. It like the waves are kind of like new beginnings, so to speak. But the wave is kind of what this space is bringing. It is kind of bringing the wave is the wave of awakening, the wave of upliftment, the wave of daring to kind of strive or want or receive something greater. Life is something normal, but since we have freedom of will, it can be something mediocre, or we can kind of choose how we want to kind of dance with life. And since there is freedom, which is kind of the awakening of mankind that is kind of has happened now, that humanity is becoming more aware of of the uneasiness, the shakes, the vulnerability, the nervousness, the suffering of life. It's harder to hide, and that's kind of what was needed for this space to grow. That more people be like, "Ooh, maybe I need some support," because we've kind of been taught that everything can just be figured out yourself. Well, this is kind of the feminine in a way, which is awakening. And the feminine is a little different. It's not figuring everything out yourself. It's like receiving support from people around you so that it helps and uplifts your life. So that is what we are doing here. Since I've kind of taken this journey and I realized that this was an energy here that I was given, that I awakened to, that uplifted me, that uplifted my spirit, that uplifted my body, that uplifted my emotions, that could give more freedom, more ease into life. That is what I discovered. And awakenings of different kinds often happens through like challenges. Like my mom, when suddenly my big brother, become deaf, you could see that that kind of shifted her out of just being fine and glorious, just doing life, to actually kind of realize that there is something deeper. So she got hit with kind of a depression for like 5 years, but then when she decided to kind of go move on, and my brother said, aren't we supposed to have somebody else here? Don't I need any siblings? Then she's like, okay, I will do it. It was hard for her, but she dared to do it. And then I came, and then suddenly you could see that she was like filled with love again. So like sometimes you have to take those hard choices to be filled with love. Now this isn't that hard choice in the same way, but that's kind of the old way of people kind of being hit with stuff. Because that is kind of how you awaken. That's when you get hit and you're like, oh, there's stuff happening. When I realized that there was a stagnation, there was like a confusion about life, about the body, about like health, and that kind of reminded me of everything kind of in my past, the upbringing, that everybody seems to be lying, everybody seems to be just kind of avoiding or just getting stuck in anger or desire or happiness or like sadness. Now you wouldn't think happiness was a problem, but happiness can be like just like that you are just like searching that high. It's like that's when people gets on drugs or like like a man just run from like girl to girl to girl to girl, or you just keep running, uh you know from clothes to clothes to clothes or food or whatnot. But that there was a reason we could actually like awaken our body, and awaken our body kind of requires a daring to kind of realize that we have this peaceful presence inside, this being that can be centered and calm behind all the noise, and it can be kind of uplifted. And when you are up, it's uplifted, it's kind of a feeling of love. It doesn't come right away necessarily. Some people it comes to right away. That's their awakening. They fall in love and they break up everything, and they they go and go and do weird stuff. Or people find happiness, and which is kind of like you're centering in and you're daring to just enjoy life. And people can just enjoy too much, and then you'd be like, if you're rich, you just like go and travel your whole life, and you never really like center and kind of look at what is the connection that is there. It can still be kind of dead if you're just chasing it. But yeah, so there's this, when I realized that there was this uplifted energy, there's this peace, there's this being behind that can be happy and free, then something inside of me realized that this what was what I've been waiting for my whole life. This was what I was looking for. So that is the same thing that I kind of challenge people when they come into the space. They have to kind of commit for a month or 2 months or three. The more the merrier, to dare to kind of be like, something inside of me is feeling that there has to be more, and to kind of come onto this wave of energy. There is an energy in this space. It's not the words that I say, I just point towards the energy, where you can suddenly feel confused with what I'm saying, and it might not make sense at all. but suddenly you might suddenly start to feel uplifted or peaceful or happy or whatnot, because it is kind of like all your resistance, all your emotions, all this stuff comes up. And that's where like we are on this ocean, and most of us are kind of like we are on a paddle board, but there's like small waves, but well, everything that's going on in the world, they're all small waves that keeps us a little bit unstable. So it kind of exhausts us. We're trying to find like, where do we go? How do we move forward? And then suddenly the wave comes, and we might be so unbalanced, so distraught, so fighting every wave that we're just gonna the wave comes and we just fall into the water. And that happens, when you're younger. That's why a lot of younger people don't necessarily jump on, and because it requires a little bit of maturity. You might have had to kind of fight some, been able to find a little bit of balance before you suddenly realize that a wave comes, and then you dare to kind of jump on it. And a teacher like I, or like other people in space, say, come on, join this wave, and then you dare to like grab onto somebody, and you dare to be lifted. So that is kind of the energy here. It's an upliftment. And then after you kind of get on the wave, then that is where you have to still most people do experience waves, but it can be a wave of anger, a wave of sadness, a wave of happiness, a wave of party, a wave of vacation, a wave of wanting, or like all kinds of waves. We have so many, but it's like it lifts us and then we fall off, and it lifts up and then it goes away. So you know, the old way of trying to kind of build some momentum is like, okay, I have to just kind of paddle. I paddle after the wind. I put on a little sail, and I try to work it. That's the masculine, trying to work it. Then you use the body to try to kind of force your way onto life, onto like get somewhere. But here there is like, instead of using the body, here we are using the rhythm of life. The rhythm of life comes just effortlessly, and it lifts you. And all we are pointing at is like, you dare, if you are into this space, you are dare to say yes to it, and dare to kind of honor it, and dare to start seeing the magic of this wave. Then you will realize that we're all on this wave together. And sometimes you might hit some waves, and I might even climb over and be like, oh, be careful here. That's where you reach out and you ask questions. Or so we have all these different kind of, when you're on the wave, you still might get knocked off the wave if you hit small other waves. So that is where like the focus and intention is kind of what is needed. So that's why we kind of have them and kind of set these Wednesdays and these retreats, so that kind of to create some stability and to help you. Because whether you will experience like smaller waves coming in, like sadness, anger, happiness, desire, all these ideas of how it's supposed to look, how it's supposed to be, that a lot of times take people off the wave, because you get lost in an off wave, and then that wave does not have momentum. It kind of loses its it's like a dying off. So that is where like life has this wave, and this is what kind of we have kind of allowed into the space. That's why this is a sacred space. We are returning to the sacred, because life has become unsacred, not sacred. We have removed all the sacredness from life. So to truly realize that we have to choose and we have to we can have everything and still we can feel dead inside. But that's where spirit, that's where the energy can come in, and you can be filled with life, you can be filled with ease, you can be filled with love or peace, or like depending on how you're connected to your body, you will feel this differently. When we are small, little baby, we feel these waves. But since our teachers, our parents, and everybody are kind of letting us focus on all the don't necessarily see the wave, they don't feel the waves anymore. They kind of shut down. So then we are given all these substitute waves, and these waves are going all the wrong ways. So then gradually we kind of like, we get high, but then and then we, because we have already kind of so disconnected, we get sick instead, or we get like seizures, or we get just sad, or we get just stuck. But that's the beauty of like life now, that we have to dare to feel stuck before we can dare to like jump on again and be like, there must be more, there must be more. So that is where we are here. We are kind of opening to this wave of life. Yeah, speaking English here. So that is what so that's what we're kind of doing here. It's not, it can seem kind of childish to the energy seems childish. It's kind of seems crazy to just dare to just come on in, and in this space there's nothing to do, just to partake there, and to kind of say yes, and to sign up for the membership, and kind of and dare to say like, I want to keep going, I want to trust. It is putting your heart, putting your faith into the space. So that's the beauty. Now we see like there's a growing space, because now like we've been kind of preparing it for a while, so that it can be kind of so gentle and easy, because you will get tested, you will get hit down with like emotions and different waves that will try to take your focus away. So that's why I say, reach out, text me on the side if there's different thoughts or questions, or if you feel knocked down off of the paddle board with the surfboard, and I will throw out a line and we will get you on board again. Sometimes you will take a little sit back, in the beginning on the board, we might sit all the way in the front of the surfboard. But when there's bigger waves coming, you have to kind of lean back, and you have to dare to trust more and sit back more and more. So there is a kind of a growing trust that you start to realize that there is a kind of a practice, so to speak, that your body will start to like, as you dare to kind of like keep coming and dare to trust. And sometimes you can even watch these lives again later, if you feel like suddenly like you can't sleep or different stuff, you can tune into it, because it's there to just like open up to that, the glory, to that gentle, that simplistic energy inside. Yeah. That energy that is available, and that is kind of given, and it's so easy that it can seem stupid. That's why sometimes it feels hard to explain to people that is not here, that's not here, what is this. That's why, like, well, first you have to test it out, and then you'd be like, well, if people really want to come in, they can come in. They just have to commit to testing it out for a while, because it's just like soaking in a bathtub. You just have to let yourself like have some time to just feel it, and then it will kind of grow inside of you, like in your dreams, in your spirit, in your day to day. You suddenly might experience that you're handling disappointments, handling challenges differently, because your energy suddenly is more uplifted. You are not just, yeah, there's a resistance in you. It's like when you're well prepared for something and somebody says you're an idiot, and you're like, oh, I know I'm not. You kind of can turn that other cheek. When you have more resistance inside, you're able to handle like critique, challenges that will come to kind of try to knock you off the board. You'll be like, oh wow, my body is like kind of working together. It's like it is an internal, it's like a wisdom that comes from inside. That's when I saw it. I was like, wow, we it is like returning to that, like that baby that is like crazy, crazy in love, crazy happy, crazy peaceful, crazy excited, until just crazy sleeping, crazy easy, but just in the moment, just starting to realize that you can, when you put the thoughts away and you dare to just give them a break, just like the night when you just suddenly like are seeing that you're worrying about stuff, there's thoughts, there's different dreams, and then when you keep like coming back, you will start to see that there's an energy that will start to kind of work in your favor. There's some magic. That's that rhythm, that's that wave that we're kind of engaging with. So it's just kind of, it took a while to kind of take away, I was as a chiropractor or Tai Chi or all these different structures of the old, to simplify it so people can just come on in and just enjoy the space, just like we're going to enjoy this weekend for the people that's coming down and really like stepping into the fellowship. But in a way, everybody here now, whether you're not coming this week or not, there's new people coming in that are kind of joining. But sometimes you don't want to come into a retreat too fast. You have to let it kind of, it's supposed to grow kind of like slowly and gently, because the more spirit you have, the more you will see, and the more you will be shocked sometimes about the thoughts in your head and the darkness within that comes up. So it is a beautiful journey that I'm kind of inviting people on, inviting people in to enjoy and to join this beautiful journey, and that I'm giving of my time for you whenever if you text me on the side and ask what is going on or what not, let me know. That's part, like, because weird stuff might arise after these sessions or retreats or whatnot, that or suddenly somebody be like, oh, you look like you have more energy, like you look peaceful, or you look like there's a different color in your face, or your hair looks more shiny, or wow, like you haven't worn those kind of clothes in a while. It's like when you suddenly just wake up just happy and you just put on clothes. I mean, like you're like, oh, we haven't seen those clothes in so long, because we just kind of forget. We live in the forgetfulness. We get taken into the worry of life, all these waves that constantly shake us. But when we get onto that wave, those waves becomes easier. They become easier to handle. So, yes. Even got like I was at the triangle today. It's like the feminines, the Trinity. With that said, let's and I still got my microphone. I got my microphone. And people are hearing me still, so that's great. Let's go into the second part of the session, whether people are hearing me here live or YouTube or on Patreon, the Sanctuary. That's a great place to come in and join in as we kind of are opening this, we're allowing ourselves to kind of mentally grasp onto what is this, grasp onto this like inner yearning, this want, this feeling that yes, something is calling us to feel the glory, to feel the wave, to feel the rising, the rising, to feel the love that we've had before, that we can just kind of start to like allow that space to come in again. That like gentle happiness that just kind of like is the smile that is like unperceivable to most. That you sometimes see people that can smile at you at the street and you see like, whoa, why are they like, what's going on? Why aren't they just looking down? Like in Norway, everybody's looking down, but it's funny in Chicago, everybody's looking down too. After COVID, Chicago became like Norway. Everybody's like walking. Some people with like mask on. Everybody's so serious. They're walking. Don't respect me, or don't disrespect me. I'm so life is so serious. I have to be angry about everything, or I have to be sad about it. Well, when suddenly you walk and you look at people and you see people like, oh hi, people are, the only place you see that in Norway is like when you go skiing. People actually, or like sometimes when you walk, when you're further out, like walking up a mountain, or then sometimes people are like, hello, hi, or skiing like all the way up, and you're like, hello. Or when you go on the boat and everybody's waving, a lot of people have stopped waving, but some people still wave. You're topless or like, well, bottomless. No, you're you're sitting there and kind of waving in the sun, daring to enjoy, that the madness of enjoying. So it's just like in Chicago now, like, yeah, no one is really look at you anymore and saying hi. But when you start just open, and suddenly you will start seeing them once in a while smile at you. But then you can be like, oh, we can't expect people to smile, because then we get like sad when people don't smile. It's all these minds, all small waves of like worry, instead of just daring to, but it's not smiling for them, it's daring to kind of walk in that glory, letting yourself be filled with that naturalness that is actually always been there. But that, if we don't choose to kind of let that kind of come to the forefront, we're choosing something else to come to the forefront. We choose to worry, we choose how we direct our mind, how we direct our focus is our choice. So that's kind of what we're talking about here, like the focus. What what do- what is our choice? So for this second part, when we realize that we're here, we want to kind of be part of it. I've paid for this and I'm committed. Then it is also just the receiving it. That's like laying back. So then the second part is like leaning back on your chair or on the floor or on your bed or on your bath or wherever you are, on the train or on the car, wherever you are, just leaning back, just lifting your hips a little bit, just shaking your hips loose, just dropping your shoulders a little bit. And then you kind of just, it is letting that wave of energy, that light. If you close your eyes, it's almost like there's a light, there's like a vibrating light, or like a gate just coming in and just coming into you. Yes. And you just drop your shoulders a little bit more, shake out your arms a little bit. Just let your neck kind of like lean back. Just open up your mouth a little bit, like your jaw, like let that, like your jaw just, it's like sleeping when you just relax and you're like, oh, my body is rested. Just sink back. You let your whole spine just weigh down. Heavy, just lift up your hips a little bit more. Just let your whole spine weigh down. Yeah, and then it's like this energy is like a breath coming in, just filling you, light filling you, just kind of goes down into your groin, into your butt, down between your legs, down into your knees, down into your feet. Ooh, yeah. There's like a stillness in the space. If you might hear some sounds or some ringing or different stuff, or like cars outside, or just peace outside, or just the birds outside. It's a new spring coming out, or somebody coughing outside, or snoring if they fall asleep. Yeah, and it's like a yawn, just like a surrender. Shenji moves all the way down into the ground, and it kind of just then fills you, kind of fills the whole energy body around you. It's like the space around you, which is your energy, and it just kind of comes up up your feet, up between your legs, up in your groin, up in your chest, up in your head, up in your. I did say head already. And out your head. So it's kind of like that laughter when you just dare to just like let people, like let let go and let be, let go and let be, let be and let go and let have fun. Let's have fun. So yeah, there's some. And then you can come back, open up your eyes again, start shaking your body out. So there's some energy going on. There's people tuning in, feeling stuff. You might have felt some irritation or snarky remarks or different stuff coming up today or yesterday from people around you, or like in your mind, like some battles, because you kind of are in life. So when you start kind of filled with being filled with glory, then people around you are going to just kind of feel a little bit of like a wary, and they will kind of try to punch you a little bit to get you to kind of calm down, bring you down. That's how people are a little bit in a psychological or emotional battle with each other, energetic battle. So that is where like you have to dare to, yeah, see it, and then we kind of take it in today. We take it into the retreat, and we start like moving the energy. So whether you're like here today and coming next week or the week after, or you're coming in, like let me know how you're doing. You might not, nothing of this might make sense to you until maybe in the middle of the night or tomorrow or the day after. You'll be like, oh, be like, and it clicks some, and you might text me and reach out and let me know what's going on. So that's why I usually say, like, let me know what's going on, because then I will bring it into the weekend for the ones coming there, or I will also bring it into the talks next Wednesday for the ones that are there then. Anyway, it's been a glorious day. It's been a glorious time. And I'm honored that everybody of you are showing up and daring to kind of uh, ride the wave in its madness and its glory and its playfulness and its fun. And yeah, let me know how you're doing, how you're sleeping for tomorrow, and what's going on. Whether you're like with this weekend or not, you might suddenly feel more energy this weekend. You might still kind of be part of it. So you text me what's going on with you no matter what. You might be feeling it because you're, whether you're new or old, you might be partaking it on some level or another. So stuff might be happening this weekend. So anyway, with that said, we're done for today. And yeah, if you're watching this later, let me know and say hi. And for the rest of you, I wish for you a beautiful Wednesday night or day or whatever day it is for you. See ya, guys.